Good evening, Dr. Reed. Such a pleasure to see you again. Do you need medical attention? I'm feeling all right, Doctor. But perhaps it is because I, too, am used to the smell of the dead.
Goodbye, Mr. Chidana.
Ain't safe here for a gentleman. Are you deaf? Steady, boys! We've got one of them here.
Yes? What is it that you want?
I'm sorry to disturb you at such a late hour.
No worries, my son. I'm still quite awake, having just returned from a funeral.
Yes, I know. I've forgotten what I wanted. I don't know.
May I help you, child? You seem somewhat perturbed.
I haven't the strength to cross the threshold. I wish to pray, to cleanse my soul.
The church is shut by order of the bishop. But I'm still the vicar of St. Mary's, if that is any use to you, my son.
You seem to me a good soul, Vicar. But this is a personal matter.
There are no secrets from God, my son. If your heart needs comfort, consider me your chapel. For I can be as silent as stone.
I've words for one departed. They're not for living ears to hear.
Your eyes burn with rage, yet I see the pain that lies beyond. I am here to lighten the burden of all God's creatures. Whatever you tell me is between us and the Lord.
Very well, priest, as you seem quite adamant.
Open your heart, my son. Tell me what burdens you. With whom do you wish to speak?
She was my sister.
You seem so troubled by the loss of this girl. What happened to her?
She was murdered.
I see. And how are you feeling, my son?
I feel responsible. The pain is consuming me.
I have a final question for you, my son. This is of the utmost importance.
Ask your question, Vicar.
What words would you like to say to your poor sister?
I killed you. There's no excuse. My dear Mary, forgive me.
You have been heard, my son, and your burden will lighten if your words are sincere. Go in peace now, and live your life in the way she would have wanted.
There. I confessed to that vicar. Do I feel better? Only time will tell.
Remorse and pain are precious when binding you to the earth. I remember you. Fear be gone. I would harm no child of my making.
This is your doing. You made me this creature. What are you?
I am the land. You are our champion.
You selected me, chose me.
As shall my children yet to come.
What is it you seek?
This age is sickly. An ancient poison, an older rage, brewed in a cauldron newly forged.
This has something to do with the epidemic.
Seek truth, my champion. Defeat the serpent of knowing with iron spur.
I've had enough of others making decisions for me, pretending to know how I should feel or behave. So the vampire who made me is some sort of disembodied entity? Or was he just projecting this vision in my mind? Maybe Edgar can help.
It's locked. Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
I have a lot to do, Dr. Reed. If there's something you need, ask. Otherwise, I must get back to work.
What can you tell me about the recent events in the hospital?
That Mr. Hampton killed Miss Jones in her room, then ran away.
And did you see all this?
No. I was working by the tents when it all happened. I only entered the room when they asked me to clean up the blood.
Where is Miss Jones's body?
I don't know. I'd imagine the morgue. It all happened so quickly.
Did you see Sean Hampton leave the hospital?
I think I saw a silhouette exiting the hospital gates after the shouting started. At first I thought it was someone who was just scared, but... well, maybe it was him.
I'm not familiar with all the staff yet. Perhaps you could help me.
Brilliant professionals. Most of them. Dr. Swansea has a gift for recruiting talent.
Most of them. Is there a problem I should know about, Nurse?
It would be inappropriate for me to speak ill of a colleague.
Is anyone particularly noteworthy, then?
Nobody. Since Dr. Tippett is gone.
Do you require medical assistance, Nurse?
Thank you for your concern, but I'm fine.
How are you dealing with your new position, Nurse Brannigan? And should I still address you as Nurse?
Yes, you can. And I hold fast. You don't have to worry about me, Doctor.
You don't sound particularly pleased by your new position, Nurse Brannigan.
It took an epidemic and the death of my mentor to show what I'm capable of. How could I be anything but happy?
I'm not worried, but you seem tired.
I'm fed up of all the gossip. I realize now that I'll have to prove myself far more than before.
Goodbye, Nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
God protect us. You've got a leech in the hospital.
Yes, my hospital. My mission is to heal while you go about warring.
You've set the table for a snake. I wonder why there's venom in your food.
I'm growing tired of your song. You're a woodsman, McCallum, not a doctor. Return to your hunt.
Remember, I've a good nose for machinations. I can flare the scent at a mile. You can't hide from the god.
Leave him, Jonathan. This is sacred ground. Neutral territory. And I just had the carpet cleaned. By the sacred stole, this is very bad news. Bad news indeed.
What happened?
The hospital has been attacked. We have injured patients, at least one dead and several missing. This has spiraled out of control. Even the most infirm are asking to be allowed to return home.
We cannot have the people lose faith in this institution. This hospital is their only hope.
Of course, you're right. But we cannot afford a public scandal. It would ruin us. We must restore order, and quickly.
You mentioned a dead patient. Who is he?
She, Jonathan. She was Miss Harriet Jones. I found her room like a slaughterhouse. Blood everywhere. The duty nurse is taking care of the mess.
Very well. I'll help you.
Jonathan, please. I can't rely on anyone else. And this concerns you as it involves vampires. Someone has taken advantage of our more liberal tendencies here.
In what way?
Jonathan, I may turn my head when you or her ladyship indulge, but I will not allow this place to become a nest for street feeders.
Please then, tell me.
Sean Hampton, the man we thought we'd saved at the docks. It seems he was infected after all.
So Hampton became more beast than man.
Exactly. And now Guard of Prewen suspects the hospital of vampire activity. Do you realize what that could mean for us?
Do you really believe they would come for us here? In such a public venue?
McCullum is a fanatic. The Guard will stop at nothing. You don't know what they're capable of, Jonathan.
Very well. Since I brought Mr. Hampton here, I will put an end to this. If you don't mind, I have a few questions.
I'd be delighted to help you if I'm able.
I just recently met the strangest creature in Whitechapel. He was immense. He mocked me and accused me of hypocrisy.
Perhaps it was a skull. London's streets are overflowing with them these days.
It was a vampire, all right. But what kind, I'm not sure. He was large and very fast.
If you find anything more about this creature, the Brotherhood would greatly appreciate any information you could spare.
He was observing me with the obvious intent to do me harm. His very presence evoked a palpable sense of menace.
You need to be careful, Jonathan. You've no idea what this creature really is.
I recently tried to enter a church. It has been a very unpleasant experience.
The Brotherhood's research on the matter of faith and vampirism has proved somewhat insubstantial to say the least.
Is this proof that I'm cursed in the eyes of the divine?
The wrath of the Almighty? There's no way of knowing. It could be subconscious guilt, or irrational fear, or deep-seated beliefs.
It's hard to explain in terms of science, that's for sure.
I'm sure Lady Ashbury will have far greater insight into this matter than little old me.
What exactly happened here while I was absent?
Hampton turned, quite violently as it happened. Lurking about, attacked Miss Jones. To say he created quite a commotion would be an understatement.
Are you sure it was Hampton that killed Miss Jones?
There was blood everywhere, but no body. And you know the state she was in. I fear for what he did with her. Hopefully he just hid the corpse.
How did the Guard of Priwen come to hear of this?
McCullum has spies everywhere. He will jump at any opportunity to disparage the Brotherhood and show his contempt.
Who was that man in your office?
Geoffrey McCullum, actual leader of the Guard of Priwen. I suspect he's the man behind the rebirth of this old and dusty society.
They know I'm here now, don't they?
I understand your need for blood and will not get in your way. But if you could refrain from feeding within these walls, it would go a long way to defending your case.
Who was that man?
Geoffrey...
Thank you, Edgar. Sean Hampton lives and breathes for the well-being of his flock. There's no other place he would go but the docks.
Oh, Jonathan, I cannot believe my eyes. Poor woman, butchered by some savage scowl.
Yes, and I'm afraid I'm at least partially responsible. The man, the scowl, I brought him here.
Jonathan, how could you say such a thing?
Forgive me if I feel despondent, for there seems to be no end to the suffering and death that surrounds us.
I'm always here for you, Jonathan.
What do you know of Ascalon? I was threatened by a creature, a vampire in Whitechapel, stating I had to obey the law of conduct.
What more can you tell me about him?
He was bigger than a man. Huge, in fact. He seemed to radiate violence. I thought he was going to tear me apart. Then he vanished.
Fergal, the executioner of Ascalon. You were fortunate he was not after you, but rather out doing his master's bidding.
What is Ascalon?
The Ascalon Club are the most powerful vampires in Britain and exert tremendous influence. Take my advice and stay well away.
I have experienced a certain difficulty when faced with holy symbols or trying to enter religious buildings. Have you?
Now that's quite a question. I don't know why, but yes, it has happened to me.
Is this a sign? The hand of God in action? Are we repellent unto heaven?
I don't have the answers, Jonathan. But I believe superstition and magic is just fact awaiting the lens of science.
Aren't you frightened?
Very little scares me, my dear. To be compelled to avoid symbols of faith does not concern me.
Have you embraced this woman, like the other patient, this Mr. Renfield?
Her name was Amelia. And no, I did not kill her. I vowed a very long time ago that I would never take another life, unless they ask.
Temptation surrounds us. Rich, vital. How can you resist?
Over the years, any pleasure I once gleaned from feeding is long gone. I drink for sustenance. And though I still thirst for more, I restrain myself.
Is there sufficient vitality in the blood of the sick and dying patients?
Yes, Jonathan. The hunger gnaws at me every waking hour. Frankly, I'm starving.
Thank you, my lady. I hope to see you again soon.
Murderers and thieves, the lot of them. I have nothing more to say to you, Dr. Reed.
What can you tell me about the recent commotion in the hospital?
It's a disgrace. How on earth can patients be attacked in their own rooms?
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick. It seems the Priwen are redoubling their patrols in the district. There must be more.
Please, sir, come see how.
Filthy murdering bastard! He's dead!
Ah! It ain't human! Kill it! Christ! He's dead!
It's locked. It's locked, all right.
Die! Let's go! This one's mine! Stupid beast! Oh, Christ! Murdering bastard! Watch out, boys!
Send you back in the fucking...
See them fancy clothes? This one's a... He's dead! No! Grenade! Over there! There's one of them!
Perhaps we should have listened to what the idiot had to say.
Good evening, sir.
Who the fuck are you? Don't you see I'm busy here?
Dr. Jonathan Reed, that's who I am. And who are you?
Ah, some fancy gentleman we've got here. Clear off. We don't want strangers on our streets.
So you won't tell me your name, then?
The name is Booth Digby. Maybe I'll ask my boys to break one or two of your bones, just so you remember it.
Do you know where I can find Sean Hampton? I need to talk to him.
The sad saint. Why on earth do you want to talk to him?
He was one of my patients at the Pembroke Hospital.
Oh, yeah. I heard the poor bastard had been abducted by some cunt. You better ask Tom Watts. He knows Sean Hampton well.
Are you some kind of vigilante patrolling these streets at night?
Something like that, but the police aren't in charge here. We are, see?
So you're a concerned criminal, is that it?
Using funny jokes about me and my boys, are you? Fuck. You must have some balls.
I saw many men like you during the war, Mr. Digby. Greedy little cockroaches who feed on despair.
I could kill you for saying that. But, nah. You've been a soldier. I can respect that.
So, tell me about your gang, then.
What? Have you got a death wish? You really want me to answer that?
Well, yes. You seem so proud of your status. Why not tell me who you're working for?
Oi! I'm the boss, all right? The Wet Boot Boys work for me. All of them. Situation round here is better than other districts because of us. Because of me.
Do you need medical help, sir?
I feel fine, Dr. Reed.
Are you some kind of vigilante patrolling these streets at night?
Something like that, but the police aren't in charge here. We are, see?
Goodbye, Mr. Digby. Good evening, miss. I am Dr. Reed. May I ask you a few questions?
Who are you? What do you want?
As I just told you, I'm a doctor. From the Pembroke Hospital, actually.
The Pembroke Hospital, you say? I don't have any money for you leeches.
I'm not here for charity, Miss...
Miss Edwina Cox. So what do you want then? Fancy buying something from me, maybe?
I'm looking for Mr. Sean Hampton. Do you know where I could find him?
The sad saint? I heard he was mugged or something.
Yes, he was. But he left hospital recently.
You don't say. Well, I suppose it's good news for the homeless and the useless. Ask them, they must know something.
You still use your husband's name, Edwina. Why is that?
Why shouldn't I? He may be a bloody bastard, but I'm still his wife and his name means something round here.
Are you aware of what happened to him?
Yes. I'm sure he fought till the end and looked death in the eyes. The boys will mourn him. Except one of them, maybe.
What can you tell me about your work?
I'm a businesswoman. I buy and sell things, and I send my wet boot boys after anyone who don't play nice with me.
Gang member and shopkeeper. Can't be easy running double shifts.
If you're interested, I may find use of a doctor who can freely walk across the city, you know.
You're quite blunt, aren't you?
I like people who know what they want and say what they think. This is a time of great opportunity for those ready to embrace their destiny.
I'm not interested in a career in the criminal underworld, Miss Cox.
Fair enough. Stay away from us then, if you don't want to get hurt or worse.
Since my return from the war, I don't feel that concerned by threats, knives, or even bullets, if you must know.
That's exactly what that stupid trade unionist claimed after he attacked one of us. Booth and I reminded him a bullet beats words every time.
What can you tell me about gang...
If you're in...
Tell me about the man you and Booth killed, Edwina.
The bastard killed one of us and received retribution. There's nothing else to say.
What happened exactly?
I don't know, and I don't care. One of ours was killed by that communist bastard, but he didn't brag for long.
So you have no idea what really happened, but you executed him anyway?
No one messes with the wet boot boys, Doctor. This is our territory, and this is our law.
And your conscience is clear. You kill without hesitation.
Violence is an efficient tool, Dr. Reed, when used properly.
So you decide who lives and who dies, just like that?
Yes, Doctor. Just like that. I'm not saying it's fair. I'm saying it's my way of dealing with troublemakers.
What can you...
You can't trust...
Really? Don't you think that's a little bit excessive?
Bastards, all of them. This region only responds to violence and threats.
You sound like you're thinking of somebody in particular.
Take the gravediggers of Southwark. They must pay me every week, but it looks like they forgot who gave them permission to steal from the dead.
Looting corpses in a mass grave. That is a new low.
Whatever. Hey, since you're a doctor and all, maybe you can access that forbidden area and remind those bastards what they owe.
Can I see what you have to sell?
As long as you have money, I'll show you all I have. Pleasure, sir. Been a while since we've seen any new faces round here.
Someone's playing a worse.
Mark my words, miss. These murders are the work of a vampire.
A vampire? Whatever do you mean?
I'm a tracker of these creatures.
Good evening, sir.
Whatever.
Vampire.
Don't you recognize me? We met a few nights ago.
Don't take it personally. I spent a lot of energy forgetting what I did the night before.
Yes, you had definitely drunk too much then as well. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed.
I'm Dyson Delaney. I'll try to remember you. This time.
It comes of a sudden, nighttime, claiming innocence.
I'm looking for Mr. Sean Hampton. Do you know where I could find him?
I really don't know. I heard he'd been abducted, and I don't know if he's back.
Who could tell me then?
About the sad saint.
He's the kind of prey
Try
I
asking Tom
hunt.
what's about him.
What do you do for a living, Mr. Delaney?
I drink. I drink in the morning and at noon. I drink at night, and then I drink some more.
Why do you drink so much?
Maybe it's because I prefer dying slowly. Death can be so abrupt. Personally, I like to see mine coming at my own pace.
You sound very sad, sir.
That's because I am Doc.
Don't you work at all?
I'd love to, but I don't have the time. Didn't I tell you? Drink in the morning and at noon. I drink at night.
Is there anything in particular that you like about this part of town? Except for the cheap drinks, I mean.
How dare you say such a thing? I love this neighborhood. So friendly. So joyful.
Why are you so cynical?
Cynicism is the polite way to express despair, Doctor.
Why are you so... No reason at all to rejoice, then? Life is hopeless and then we die, is that it?
Let me tell you a story.
All right. Go on.
A few years ago, when I believed a resolute man could change things around here for good, a tragedy occurred nearby.
What kind of tragedy?
It was a bomb. A bomb that exploded and killed many people. Metal and blood everywhere. Shouts, fire, broken window of the shoe shop, the torn street light.
You lost people you loved that day, didn't you?
I've lost everything. But you know what the worst part is? I don't even remember where it happened. I've drunk so much to forget it. And now I can't remember where it was. I can't pay my homage to the dead.
I'm sorry, Mr. Delaney.
It's okay. If you ever find the place, just leave a flower for me there. Even if you tell me where it is. I'm not sure I'd memorize it.
Surely you must have had dreams and expectations when you were young, like everybody else.
Sure. I wanted things to change. To really change, and to change for good. The bigger the dream, the harder the fall.
Sounds like you were an idealist, which is honorable.
No, sir. I was an anarchist and I believed that exclusive property is a robbery in nature. I wanted a new world to rise from the ashes, Dr. Reed.
Do you really think the world is that bad?
No, I believe we all can choose to make it better. But most of us are too weak, too corrupt and too guilty. I failed for sure, but others will come.
I want to know more about your past as an anarchist, Dyson.
I'm still an anarchist, Doctor, make no mistake. I just reject violence as a tool to change the world, unlike my comrades.
Do you still see your comrades, then? Even if you don't agree with their methods anymore, I mean.
No. I hope they'll come to share my point of view one day. I'll raise my glass to that splendid idea.
Do you believe in a bloodless revolution, then?
I do not believe in much anymore, Doctor. But I'll admit I like your idea of peaceful change. I like it a lot.
Do you believe in a bloodless revolution, then?
I do not believe in much anymore, Doctor. But I'll admit I like your idea of peaceful change. I like it a lot.
Is there anything in particular?
How dare you say such a thing?
No reason at all.
Let me tell you.
All right.
If you...
What kind?
It was a...
You lost.
I've lost.
I'm...
It's okay.
Is there an... No...
Let me tell you.
Another time, perhaps. Goodbye, Mr. Delaney. Good evening, Mr. Delaney.
What? Ah, you're that doctor.
Inebriation aside, do you need medical help?
Yes. I feel sicker than usual these days.
Take this, then. And perhaps you could try to slow down the alcohol intake, too.
Hey, Doc, you don't really want me to stop the only remedy I can afford.
Inebriation aside,
I already drink. ever know what I did, I'm gonna die with blood on my hands. No one will remember me.
I heard the rumors about the playing.
You again. What do you want?
Tell me about the man you killed, Booth. What happened?
One of us had been killed, so we had to retaliate. That's the whole story.
There has to be more to it than that.
No, really. One of us got killed, so the killer had to die. That's how things have always been done round here. No one gives a shit.
Are you so heartless that you could pull the trigger and kill someone without even blinking?
Have you looked around recently? Do you really think one more body will make a difference?
Goodbye, Mr. Digby.
Foolish girl and her quick principles. Got no idea.
Good evening, sir. Have you witnessed any suspicious activity or strange events recently?
And what do you define as a strange event? More to the point, who are you?
My name is Ichabod Throgmorton, vampire hunter extraordinaire and warden of the East End.
A vampire hunter? Really?
I know what you're thinking. I'm just another lunatic howling at the moon, but I'm not. The bloodsuckers exist, and they're close.
Mr. Throgmorton, I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. I'd like to hear more about these vampires you're hunting.
A man of science? Well, I'll be glad to enlighten you.
What can you tell me about this neighborhood?
Did you hear about what happened to Jack Gillingham? Poor boy. It's a shame I wasn't around to protect him.
It's impossible to protect everyone. The violence seems endemic in this part of town.
But it's my duty. I am convinced Jack Gillingham was killed by a vampire. These evil rodents are spreading like a plague.
So, how exactly are you protecting these people? I'm curious.
I patrol late at night, investigating anything unusual. I try and encourage people to stay indoors, but people are careless.
Can I help in any way?
Actually, yes. I plan to put up posters to alert the population to the vampire threat.
Are you asking me to paste posters about vampires around the docks?
If you wouldn't mind. If you did that, then I can focus on my patrols.
How do you identify a vampire?
It's simple, really. They can't stand daylight. They're afraid of garlic and holy symbols. They also cannot enter a house without being invited.
Have you ever killed one of these creatures? Yourself, I mean.
Of course I have. What kind of question is that? It's a dirty business, believe me.
Have you heard of the Guard of Priwen?
Of course. They're dedicated hunters. A little militant for my taste, but they do let anyone join.
Were you ever tempted to join the Guard yourself?
I did think about it, but I'm more of a silent hunter. They're more of a sanitary militia.
So you hunt alone? That sounds risky.
Vampires are just like every other predator. They hunt when they're hungry and follow certain patterns. It's just a matter of observation and patience.
I'm looking for Sean Hampton. Can you help me, Mr. Throgmorton?
The sad saint? He should be at his night asylum at this hour. But I cannot tell you how to find it, sorry.
Really? Why is that?
It's nothing personal, Doctor. I'm sure your intentions are good, but people who sleep there, they have plenty of reasons to hide.
Maybe at least you can tell me who could help me find him.
Tell you what, go and chat with Tom Watts. He's a bartender and good judge of character. If he talks to you, then it's fine by me.
I could make you tell me, but I respect your refusal. You really believe Sean is a saint, don't you?
All I will say is this. Gossip has it that when he was a child, he was molested. By a priest of all people. Funny thing is, though, it only strengthened his faith.
Goodbye, and good hunting, Mr. Throgmorton.
I should have offered a drink to the boy. Be he cursed or not, he's just another lost orphan.
Evening, miss.
Well, I never. That's a first. Customers who make that much mess rarely come back. Never mind in fancy togs.
I'm much more myself than when we first met. By the way, I'm Jonathan, Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Welcome back to the Turquoise Turtle then, Doctor. I'm Sabrina Cavendish. How can I help you?
What can you tell me?
People don't...
You look
This is about...
If you're
I got
This place...
We get people...
Your boss?
Yeah.
So this...
Yeah.
Excuse my curiosity.
Something bothering you?
Believe me, I never...
If that's true, you'd be one of the...
I'm sorry if I worried you.
Nosy. My dad was a sailor from Bombay, and my mum was a maid born up in Glasgow. They got married...
Miss Cavendish...
You better ask...
Why not answer...
We respect the private...
Do you require medical assistance, Miss Cavendish?
I'm fine, sir. Just have too much work on and not enough sleep.
Goodbye, Miss Cavendish.
Times like these, a good drink's just as likely.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Why must it always be a good evening?
I was just...
Don't like questions.
What can you... Is there no...
Well...
Are you think...
No.
What's your...
I take care...
You seem up...
I lost a...
Sometime...
I just...
Any chance you can...
The sad...
Actually...
Really?
Goodbye, Mr. Fish. Good evening, Mr. Fishburne.
Yeah.
Do you require medical... I don't know which kind of doctor you're used to dealing with.
And is it your...
Goodbye, Mr. Fishburne. This is despicable.
Without the wet boots keeping things straight, the park would be running completely amok. The sewer dog's fault, they say. Then the gangs, the epidemics, everyone's throwing the blame.
Good evening, Tom.
Good evening, sir.
You remember me?
Of course I...
Thank you.
I'm still...
What can you...
That's not...
Who? How is it?
Well, since...
I see.
Or something.
You're something...
I'm only...
Since I...
Perhaps...
How could a physician...
I have a small...
Doctors aren't...
Oh, thank you.
Why does your waitress feel in danger?
It's part of town...
Do you think...
Of course I...
Tom,
I heard the sad saint.
the important thing is I find him.
Why not try his night asylum?
Where is it?
It's in an old warehouse, northwest of here.
I believe.
Oh, I bet you.
Please.
Oh, I don't like...
Do you need any help?
I'm...
Tom, I need to find...
Hi.
Goodbye, Mr. Watts.
So few clients. What with the epidemic, no one dares go outside.
Jack. He didn't deserve this.
Another disgusting rule in it. Freaking vampire do.
I can't say, but whatever did this carefully avoided the archers. We had found ourselves a bloody artist.
Seems like the guard of Priya is on Sean Hampton's trail.
Mine! I'll send you!
Die, vermin!
The wounds on this corpse are deep, the result of rabid rage. If this is Sean's doing, he's become a murderous beast.
One of them! Watch yourselves! Bloody leech!
Die, vermin!
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. May I have your attention for a minute?
Good evening, sir. My name is Giselle.
Have we met before?
No.
That's quite...
Sir?
May I ask what...
I'm killing my...
As I told...
Oh.
Why such...
Course I...
Why such hatred?
Course I am. Fuck, you're so blind. You don't even see your privilege. Lazy people like you disgust me.
What can you...
Tell you what.
If you have...
Oh.
You don't know? You're right.
I really...
You don't know? You're right.
I really...
You speak of...
You better.
You lost...
Those...
Isn't...
A few...
What really happened?
I drank...
I'm looking for...
What is it you...
Do you need medical...
No, thank you. What a waste of life. I only managed to be hated by all the people I loved.
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. Can I help you?
A fancy doctor lurking at night by the docks? Not fishy at all.
And what about you?
You want to...
Do you need my med...
I'm fine, doctor.
Is it not...
As long as I...
Are you hurt?
Mr. Ham...
What can you...
It's just...
What can you...
It may be a...
You really...
No.
Which...
Well,
I am...
Glad to hear...
Why do you and your...
Giselle...
And you don't...
On the con...
What do you mean?
I don't believe...
Perhaps you're... Don't you think...
I believe...
Lottie. Tell me about...
Giselle...
That's quite...
Mother was...
Perhaps you're...
I know.
Giselle...
Sometime...
I'm looking for Sean...
Mr. Ham...
He was a...
I see. My poor sister. What will happen to her now that I'm gone? Giselle, I'm so sorry.
It's locked.
Why the long face, Doctor?
Is it all that worries you, Sean? My long face? Really?
This is a blessing for me, to become a Skal. Immortality gives me more time and energy, if truth be known, to run a shelter. What more could I want?
Since you left Pembroke, the amount of blood that has been shed, it's hard to believe you, Sean.
Ask what you will. As the Lord is my shepherd, I will not speak a lie to you.
Aren't you afraid of...
We are blessed.
Do you think this is a blessing when...
If that is your...
But you must drink blood now.
No, not your scripture.
Why return...
This is my home.
Wonders never...
And what of you?
And what about William?
Alas.
Why did you kill Miss Jones?
Killed old Harriet? You must be...
So you claim...
Though Harry...
But you were...
Of course.
People have been murdered.
Have a little faith.
How do you plan to...
Take this key of the old sewers. The entrance is by the riverbank, south from here. There you'll find all the proof you need.
I have to see for myself. But you're sent...
I'll be here. It's in the pits, where the city is darkest. The place you'll find your light.
Safer places to
It's
be.
a leech! Christ, it's...
Please, sir. Can't let you through. Sir! Step away!
Someone serious about even people as. First place to look.
Stop!
I cannot enter. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. So that's it. These wheels control the water level. That doesn't work. Gate should shut properly now.
This thirst for blood. This is despicable. I can't believe I'm doing this. It's locked, all right.
These maggots have escaped the wrath of Ascalon for too long. It is time to purge the sewers of their filth.
You again! The one they call the sewer dog.
Hold your tongue, newborn, or I'll crush you like a maggot.
You've let the beast consume you.
Finally! A touch of lucidity. So learn to respect the laws of Ascalon! Thy neck shall snap like a hare's brittle bones, newborn! Dare challenge the dictates of Ascalon? The hand that crushes all! Whence you vanished, I'll slaughter these skulls while singing your name! Power you cannot comprehend! You found your death in me! I shall tear and spill my blood to the pissing wells! Down, stay down. Your blood is now mine. Slow as a snail!
At least one skull escaped Virgil's wrath.
If we are still, drink now.
Bless you, Richard.
This isn't the blood of a vampire, but it will quench your thirst. This is our domain, not yours. You've been warned.
Wait, I saved you from this creature. That must count for something.
Thank you. Now go. Go back to the streets and houses. There is no love lost between us, vampire. But thank you.
Sean Hampton sent me here.
If you must know...
I'm Jonathan Reed.
I shall not bet...
So is it you that...
Perhaps.
He was turned.
And why is that?
Sean...
If you
Harriet Jones...
No.
I don't understand.
She is fit...
Thank you.
Old Bridget says you are one to trust. Old Bridget says you are one to trust.
Keep your distance, Echo. Ascalon has stalked us for ages upon ages.
Hello, Harriet. You recognize me?
Yes, you were from the Pembroke Hospital. The young doctor. So full of secrets.
I've so many questions I need to ask you, Harriet. If you would.
I love questions.
I have a question of the...
Questions.
Do you remember what you did after leaving the...
First, a question from me.
Very well, then.
Are you like me?
We are not dead, Harriet.
I like what I am.
I know you...
I will...
Shadows?
The shadow?
And these what makes...
It...
Questions of...
Nothing. Let me rest now.
Have you found the answers you were looking for, young Ekon?
There is too much left unanswered. So many questions.
Get to know us. Spend time with us. And I may be willing to answer more questions.
What manner of creature?
I really don't know. I'm not even certain.
What is a skull, in fact?
The progeny of a vampire, disavowed by her maker.
You mentioned that vampire blood has tremendous potency. You believe it to be stronger than your own?
The vampire.
I thank you for your time.
Your kindness has...
For how long?
Skulls.
Where did you...
reclaim.
Why do you live here? Amongst the...
Live. Here we hide.
What are you hiding from?
From the guilt, the shame, from the hunters and the light. And of course, our past.
Why don't you...
We are the so...
What are you hiding?
From the guilt, the shame, from the hunters and the light.
Your diction, your word.
True.
You were once someone else.
It is a...
Can I...
We asked.
Thank you. Are you all right, sir? What are you doing?
I could ask you...
I'm Dr. John...
Oh, really?
I beg your...
I said...
It's locked.
We're at your mercy. Will you end us? Your place is not here. Ascalon has stalked us for ages upon ages. Oh, Bridget allowed me to wander above some years back. It was unpleasant.
Eternal gratitude for your protection, Master.
I cannot enter. It's locked.
Your spell is amazing. We're at your mercy. Will you end us?
Old Bridget says you are one to trust.
I cannot enter. It's locked, all right. It's locked, all right.
Welcome back, Dr. Reed. Would you like to take communion with me now?
Sean, are you eating raw flesh?
It is the sacred flesh of the mortal lamb. Our Lord's bountiful transmutation for the sustenance of his believers. Thank you, Lord. I am your most humble servant.
So, true to your word, you waited for my return.
I told you, Dr. Reed, I was a man to be trusted. Did you have words with the poor Harriet?
You make no distinction between the living and the Skulls, do you?
We are God's children, Dr. Reed. One and all. And he's determined to save us.
Harriet, Miss Jones, has been behaving in a most violent manner. She's going to need special attention.
That's precisely the reason I brought her here. To meet old Bridget. She's the guide Harriet requires.
Harriet is possessed by her hatred. You cannot let her roam free. She's dangerous.
She has joined her own kind, Doctor. Old Bridget is a saint to the younger Skulls, guiding them to salvation and peaceful existence.
I believe I've learned all I need to know. I'm certain you've killed no one, but one day I believe you'll cross the line.
Logic is a false prophet. Faith is the only path to salvation.
What do you mean?
We have been blessed with God's eternity. We are the instruments of His divine will. We shall feed the hungry forever and ever. Amen.
I will strive to emulate your merciful nature, Sean, but it's a difficult pledge to make.
Give yourself over to God, Doctor. Expel your urges and kneel before the Lord in praise.
These urges. You know the hunger will never be satisfied.
I've come to embrace the everlasting craving. I have sworn to feed only upon the flesh of the dead. It is now my sacrament. Take, eat. This is my body. So saith the Lord.
I really would like to believe your fairy tale. The good ghoul feeding upon the flesh of the dead. But I'm all out of innocence.
Do you question my faith, Dr. Reed?
Do you remember William? Oh, how his admiration for you was exceeded only by his hunger.
May his soul rest in peace.
A night will come, and you will suffer the same hunger. Someone who trusts you completely. A friend will die, never to wake.
You confuse your voracious appetite with my itchy hunger. I would never kill a friend, nor an innocent.
I believe you've discovered our defining difference.
No! No! I did!
Another corpse thrown in the streets. Someone's playing a very sick game. I know this brooch. This is my mother's. A birthday gift from father. "29 Pretty Orchard Street." That's near Poplar's district. Why would this man carry off my mother's brooch? I must go there.
Good evening, Mr. Throgmorton. Did you see...
Actually...
Why is it...
You didn't...
Who? Goodbye, and good hunting. Good evening, Mr.
Doctor...
Goodbye. I have this, a thirst for blood.